Welcome back to the New York Sports Exchange, episode number 202. And the Super Bowl is set. Seahawks, Patriots, not a good one if you're a Jet fan.
No.
Not a good one
Not
at all.
really. A lot of impact players on both teams that are ex-Jets. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Kind of sucks. On one hand, I would have a feeling that you're happy for Sam Darnold.
It is worth
Considering-
the third overall pick, Stan, in 2018 if he could win the Super Bowl. So, fingers crossed.
Yes, I will say, he did have a good rookie season with the Jets, and then they hired Adam Gase, and then look how Adam Gase, just unbelievable. Adam Gase,
Brutal. We failed him. We failed him miserably.
Yes, you did, and now he has a chance to win a Super Bowl. Ironically enough, technically he was the first one in 2023, but considering that he's starting this season, Sam Darnold is the first quarterback of that 2018 draft class to make a Super Bowl. So that included Baker Mayfield. That also included Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and Josh Rosen. Sam Darnold is the first of the
3 years
Sam
ago,
Darnold
Stan. Crazy.
is the first of that bunch to go to a Super Bowl or start in a Super Bowl.
Guy was backing up 4 years ago. 4 years ago, he was a backup quarterback. Now look where he's at.
Yeah, learned under the greats with Shanahan. Hey, it's coaching. I mean, what a job by Seattle, though.
Yeah, I mean, they're
Incredible job.
Was that a first down? Who knows? But
Yes, it was. They always tell you the line's unofficial. That was a first down.
I'm not arguing with you.
That was absolutely a first down. We're going to recap the AFC and NFC championship games. Go over a betting preview for the Super Bowl. Save it for next week. But
Yeah,
I
more
do
so next week.
do have one that I already locked in, and I'm just so confident in it hitting. And if it doesn't, I might as well just get off the air.
Get off the app.
To be honest, get off the app, log off. Pretty short episode today. So football, college basketball. This is that time of year where we make the shift from football to basketball. We have some great basketball this week. Duke taking on Louisville tonight.
Smile on Stan's face right now.
I know,
He gets to talk his favorite sport.
I'm
like a kid on Christmas.
I'm like a kid on Christmas right now. Duke taking on Louisville tonight, as is Arizona, the number one team in the country, taking on BYU, projected number one pick or top three pick, because whoever the number one pick is going to be in next year's draft, or this year's draft, is going to be a toss-up. So I'll say top three pick, AJ Debonsa and BYU. Tim's going to ask some questions. I'm going to give you answers. Tim, you are representing the majority of our audience, the casual viewer,
The
casual
backseat fan.
the backseat fan of college basketball. Right when that first Duke UNC game starts, shockingly enough, I just realized this week. Usually the first Duke UNC game is the Sunday where there's no football. It's always the Sunday before the Saturday before the Super Bowl, or the Saturday. You know what I mean?
I know what
the
you're saying.
Saturday of that off week. It's actually next Saturday. So it'll be Duke UNC on Saturday, then the Super Bowl on Sunday, which is crazy to think.
Hey,
crazy.
give us a little early action. I'm not against it.
Shout out to the schedule makers for making that happen. And then some hockey. Rangers and Islanders might be making the rare trade. Carson Soucy is out tonight due to roster management, and according to Mercogliano of Aloha, he's saying that Carson Soucy will be headed across town to the island, and he will be a New York Islander sooner rather than later.
Yeah, interesting. Well, we haven't seen a trade between these two guys in a minute. It's been a while.
I said to Tim before we started recording, this, you just know, they don't care where they send anyone, because if the first guy that they're sending is going to the
Crosstown
Islanders,
rival.
then I think they're desperate to get some capital back. I will only accept Matthew Schaefer in exchange for Carson Soucy.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. Stan, real quick, last trade between the Isles and Rangers, 2010.
Oh, God.
Pre-Niemi to the Rangers for a 6th-round pick.
That's a throwback.
Yeah, I know. That's
a
crazy.
throwback.
Wow.
Damn.
First transaction between the teams in 37 years at the time. So it really doesn't happen. This is an interesting one for sure. If you're an Islanders and Rangers fan.
This is the classic, Yankees Red Sox.
Yeah, we've given up this year. We need to go flip it around. Let's just give out to anyone.
That was always the age-old saying. If they really thought you were a piece of shit, if they just traded you to the Red Sox.
Yeah, they didn't give a fuck.
We did that with Ottavino. The Red Sox did that to us with Verdugo. Who else? I'm blanking on who the other guy was, but that's
Chapman wasn't a trade, was he? There, no.
Chapman went
Chicago back.
So he was Cincinnati, Yankees,
Chicago.
Cubs,
back
to the Yankees. He left during the playoffs. He went to Kansas City, traded to Texas.
He was a Pirate at some point?
And then went to the Pirates for a year. He signed a 1-year contract, and then the Red Sox got him, and now he's having this
What a career
resurgence.
tree. Yeah, this guy's all over the place.
I don't know how I just thought of that off on the fly.
Yeah, really. Taps around to stand for that one. That was nice.
Thank you.
But anyone who knows this, I know we're off topic here real quick. Anyone who knows for all this chat, but the fact he's turning his career around because he started locating his pitches is the most mind-boggling thing. Before you were just like, let me just throw it. Now you're like, oh, let me put it here. Like,
no,
crazy.
let me put it here and then like adopt a splitter and have it become the most lethal pitch in the sport.
He figured out how to pitch. Oh yeah, now he's good again. Yeah, no.
There it is. There it is. All right, so let's dive right into it. The Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara. The Seahawks taking on the Patriots.
Since 3.
The Jets haven't won a Super Bowl in 57 years.
Oh, they haven't even been to one.
How are you feeling right now as a Jet fan?
It like, sucks.
Was this the nightmare scenario?
I mean, like, yeah, probably. But it's like, it sucks, dude. It took them 2 years to turn it around. Like, really? Like, come on. Back to what they used to be. Now, again, I've been very critical of them all year, Stan. I will do it again. They get the luck of the draw for the 100th time, but you need luck to win Super Bowls. It seems like everything's going their way right now. So even with a bad performance from Drake May in that game, you want to talk about that? Yes. I mean, again, not really much he could do. Not really much he could do.
There wasn't. And I thought that the first deep ball was kind of funny with Stidham because that was the longest pass any Bronco quarterback has thrown this season.
It felt if no snow came in, it felt magical. It felt like he had it, but the snow came down.
And then the snow came down, and it felt like it was over. Honestly, I felt like it was over on that 4th and 1 in the second quarter. Where you should have kicked it. You go up 2 possessions.
It's just dumb not to.
They got greedy and went for it. And Tony, as much as annoying Tony Romo was during this game, he did bring up a good point with how the Patriots are just a situationally aware football team.
They're very well coached.
It's situationally aware, and it proved that they read that play action fake. There was
horrible call. What the hell was that?
I don't really know. I don't get it. And then that turnover on downs led to a Drake May touchdown. Andy Borregales with a field goal in the third quarter, and that was it. Drake May, I mean, I know he didn't have that great of a game, but he is the story of this season. Like it or not, Tim, I'm sorry.
Well, he hasn't hasn't had a great playoff, but this team is just performing. It is unbelievable.
The defense is fantastic. I mean, I think you have everything. You know, Milton Williams has been as advertised. Christian Gonzalez, crazy enough to think that was the game-clinching interception was his first interception of the season.
It's his, like, 4th game.
Yeah, I know, but I think when healthy, though, he is dangerously a top 5 corner.
Yeah, I think without a doubt, yeah.
He's got to be. And then, you know, this is also the first New England playoff win. Actually, crazy enough, this is the first Patriots playoff win ever in Denver.
That's crazy.
And if you think about, like, the great Brady Manning New England Denver matchups, I think there was only a few, but you remember, like, those games were great. Or sorry, the turnover on downs didn't lead to the touchdown.
The fumble.
I apologize. The fumble did.
Oh, the backwards pass.
Where the fumble, backwards pass. I think. I mean, I know Stidham played respectable.
What was he going to do?
He looked good that first quarter. But I mean, as soon as it started snowing and they were facing the direction.
It was over. The wind was blowing
of the storm. The wind was blowing. It was over. And then also to force that field goal, the clock-eating drive in the third quarter to force that Borregales field goal. I think the Broncos didn't get their first down in the second half until the fourth, like late into the fourth quarter.
And they missed that field goal.
And well, it was blocked.
Oh yeah, it was. You're right. It was.
Also have to keep in mind, it was blocked. Like, and a lot of I think Will Lutz said after the game that he went to the wrong hash because he couldn't see, Like he couldn't see because of the snow. He couldn't see like which hash to go to. So he may have kicked that field goal on the longer side of the field where he could have, where he had less, or on the shorter side of the field, or where he could have had a better angle for the kick.
The weather was a mess.
It was a mess. It was a mess. But hey, who doesn't love a snow playoff football game?
Yeah, LeSean McCoy would have had a hell of a game. That's all I know.
I know. Do you think the Broncos will be back?
Their defense is so good. So probably.
I know, but
a lot of one-score games this year. I know.
That's the thing. And we saw what happened with the Chiefs.
Yeah,
we saw what happened with the Chiefs this year. And I know it led to a Mahomes injury. It ended with a Mahomes injury. And I don't think one-score games really coincide with injuries, but you get my point.
We'll see. We'll see. They had Bo Nix in this game. Do they win? Maybe. He could run the football a little bit better. Would kind of play towards his favor in that snow.
Stidham could move. Stidham could move.
Not as well as Nix, though. I know he had a few rushes, but Bo Nix is really just a dual threat. That's kind of what you're getting with him. Will they be back? I don't know. It's really up in the air. Who knows?
We'll see. But New England headed to their first Super Bowl since 2019. This was
really? That's crazy.
Crazy. 12th Super Bowl in franchise history. And I feel bad for Broncos fans, even though they kind of like had that, because I mentioned in our last episode, my friend's a Bronco fan, and he said that even if we win this game, like we're going to get whopped by Seattle or LA.
Yeah,
but then after that second drive of the first half, that deep ball to Mims, and then that touchdown to Sutton,
it felt like there was something. It felt like there was something.
You couldn't help it. You could not help it and think that, hey, like Jared Stidham's gonna win us a Super Bowl.
No, he didn't. But he gave it a shot.
But here we are. So the Patriots go to the Super Bowl. Drake May is a AFC Championship winning quarterback. Did I already mentioned the 2018 draft class?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, I did. Yeah.
Bills fans got to be real upset
also,
right now.
Also, crazy enough, I mean, now we get to the NFC Championship game. The Seahawks take down the Rams 31-27. This one was one of the all-time best games within the last 5 years, if you ask me.
Yeah, real nail-biter to the end. Hell of a game.
Darnold, over 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. Stafford, 370-plus passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Came up short. Kenneth Walker, all first half was all about Kenneth Walker. That dude's a fucking truck waiting to happen. And now that Charbonnet's out with the torn ACL,
finally,
he's
now,
just going to be the workhorse.
Finally, but you know what I mean. They took away all his touchdowns this year in fantasy. Kenneth
Walker fantasy owners rejoice. And, Seattle took that lead in the halftime, and you thought, like, all right, this is the Rams' time. And they get that 3-and-out on defense. It's like, all right, here we go. Here comes Stafford. And this is what has cost the Rams all year. Special teams. It happened in the Philly game. There were a couple of moments during the playoffs. The block punt against Carolina. I believe they had another special teams gaffe in Chicago. I could be wrong about that. But muffed punt, recovered by the Seahawks, immediate Jake Bobo touchdown. And that kind of just set the tone. And then it just became a shootout from here on out. And then this is the point where I nearly lost it as a Seahawks bettor. When Reek Woolen got flagged for the unsportsmanlike conduct. Oh my God. And immediately, and what a genius move by McVay to go target the guy that's like all emotions, just taunted your sideline, quick double move by Puka Nacua, immediately gets the touchdown. It's just it's the little things.
The little things.
It's the little things. And then, now the crazy thing is, Tim, they kicked the extra point to go down 4, and did not go for 2. Would you have gone for 2 in that scenario? I say you do.
Yeah, I think this is better than the 4th-and-1 situation in the Broncos game. Like, yeah, I probably would have done it, as I'm more of a conservative guy, I would say, compared to you. I definitely know you like to take your lucks on 2-point conversions.
I think in this one I would, just because, like worst case it's a field goal, so like you don't have to drive the length of the field, and that's what happened. That's what happened in the last drive, if you think about it, because they had to go the length of the field to get to the end zone. I know they only had 30 seconds to do so. But I don't know. McVay's been these last 2 games, McVay has been coaching them very weird, and he lucked out in the Chicago game, and I think this game kind of cost him. I will say, in that 4th quarter, Chris Shula shoved Clint Kubiak in a locker, schematic-wise.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Shoved him in a
I'm gonna
locker.
blowing my phone up right now.
What does the Ice Dog have to say?
He just needed some verification code.
I thought he was locked in on the Susie trade.
No, I'll get that before anyone else. Trust me.
I thought he was locked in on the Susie trade. I thought it was
He's
confirmed.
got some insider waiting around the building right now just to hear some rumblings.
Yeah. And I just think these have been the past two Rams-Seahawks games where the best players on each team balled out. Puka did his thing. Devontae did his thing. Stafford did his thing. Darnold did his thing. Walker. Smith and Jigba. Dude, I'll say it. One of my bets already. Should I just say it?
JSN to win Super Bowl MVP.
JSN's winning Super Bowl MVP.
Jets could have had him, by the way. Jets could have had him.
Jets could have had him. Yes, that's also true. I cannot believe that this man put up 300. What was it in the Rose Bowl against Utah? What was it, like 317 receiving yards? Oh, we gotta look that up. This man puts up an ungodly performance.
347, 15 receptions, 3 touchdowns. On his touchdowns were 50 yards, 52, 30. Yeah, or he went 18th or whatever.
He went 20th in the draft? Like a playoff team got him?
It's ridiculous.
A playoff team at the time got him?
Yeah, 20th in 2020. It's so fucking... The Jets passed on this guy. Are you kidding me?
A lot of teams passed on him.
Yeah, but we took another edge rusher that we didn't need.
Oh, yeah. That is fair. That scissors route had to be the most beautifully designed play ever. And if you're Clint Kubiak, thank God you went to the Seahawks because you were calling plays for Derek Carr.
Yeah,
and look how that turned out. I know. And remember, New Orleans started 3-0, and everyone was like, "Oh, Kubiak could be the guy." And then he actually gets playmakers. And keep in mind, John Schneider's a genius for trading for Rashid Shaheed because he knows the offense.
Yeah, he's already
a job.
They've done a hell of a job this year.
This team, again, I'll say it. I already put money down on the Seahawks minus 3.5. I know it's at 4 now, but as soon as it opened, I did it. As soon as it opened, I took it. I was ready. I was ready.
What are we doing right now?
Are we seriously giving up draft capital for Carson Soucy?
It's literally just a code for some verification. I don't know what's going on.
Real quick before we get to our mini preview, Tim, is this it for Matthew Stafford? Or do you think that he has one more?
It's literally up to him if he wants to play football again. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I don't know how he's feeling. And if you think about it,
how we started the offseason where the Giants could have gotten him. Like the Giants were willing to trade for Matthew Stafford, and then he wanted to stay in LA. And then there was the back issue where we didn't know if he was going to start the season on IR or not. And now here he is, probably going to win MVP.
Yeah, I would think so. Why not retire on a high note? Screw it.
Screw it. If you retire your MVP,
you already got the Super Bowl. You just retire. Who cares? Buster Posey pretty much did that.
Would this be his first MVP?
I think so. Did he win it?
I would assume so. I think it would. Let's see. Matthew Stafford.
He's not. He never won it.
He never won an MVP. Wow. Who won it? No. Who won it the year he got the Super Bowl? Was it Mahomes? I'm guessing.
I would have to assume so. Awards. That was 2022.
No, it was Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah, what was it?
It was Aaron Rodgers. The Packers were the 1 seed, got knocked out of the divisional against San Francisco. And then the Bucs were the 2. Bucs were the 2. Rams were the 3. Who won the division? Was it the Cowboys?
Did they win
the
in
NFC
21
East?
Or 22?
21 season, but 22.
Okay.
Like 20. Yeah.
Since 21-22 season, yeah. Okay, yeah. All right, well.
Who was...
Good for Rodgers.
I would assume that postseason. Yeah, San Francisco beat Dallas. Dallas won the division, right? That was when Dak slid. Rams kicked Arizona's ass. Tampa kicked Philly's ass. Wow, so the Rams were the worst division winner in the NFC.
They won.
And they won the Super Bowl.
Their
wow,
defense
that's crazy to think about. Crazy to think about. And that's right, Tennessee. Oh my God, I keep on forgetting. That was such a great season. We picked such a great football season to start doing the show.
Yeah, and it's only gone south from there for my teams.
And it's only that's also true. So real quick, Super Bowl. Tim, I know you were worried that the Patriots were going to win this, and then I said I think if Seattle wins to beat LA, I think Seattle just shoves them
I've been
and
wrong
just
all
shit pumps
year.
him.
I don't. Who cares?
That
My
is
pick's
true.
gonna be wrong, so it doesn't matter. I want
It does not
give me
matter.
Seattle, but it's probably gonna be New England. That's my.
This is
assumption.
also a great time of year for the stupid prop bets. What was the one? Oh, the MVP speech. The MVP speech. I had Cooper Kupp thanking God.
Non-quarterback
first.
throwing a touchdown. That's a big one.
Now quarterback throw that happened.
Bengals.
San Francisco at the Bengals, and then McCaffrey did it
Mm-hmm.
every 2 years. Never know.
Never know.
I don't think they'll run. I don't
Kenneth
think
Walker
any of them
deep
will.
ball to Sam Darnold.
Maybe. I could see like a Ramondre Stevenson jump pass on like 4th and goal.
Something just outside the book completely. Just
Completely go
Moses.
balls. Yeah. So we'll have all the stupid prop bets, Gatorade, national anthem, halftime show.
Who knows what's going to happen this year?
I am particularly excited for the halftime show this year. I'm a big Bad Bunny guy. Who's singing the national anthem? Let's find that out. Super Bowl national anthem.
Charlie Puth.
It will be. Oh yeah, Charlie Puth. All right. Let's see. I don't know. Like Green Day's doing the opening ceremony, but I've like never heard of a Super Bowl opening ceremony before. Like I'm for it. I fuck with Green Day heavy. But
Yeah, I'm not against whatever.
I'm not against it. I just did not know that the Super Bowl had like an opening ceremony. Also, this is on NBC, so last Sunday, Tim, this is an insane stat. Until at least July, which is crazy to think about. Yesterday was the last Sunday that NBC will have, the last Sunday night NBC will have that doesn't have sports.
Really?
Yes. So Sunday Night Basketball debuts this Sunday.
Then so you have the only Super Bowl. Sunday they don't have it? That's it?
Yesterday was the only Sunday that was until like July 12th or something. Something crazy like that.
There you go. Fun fact.
They have, there you go. So Sunday Night Basketball debuts next week. Then the Super Bowl, basketball/Olympics. And then they have Sunday Night Baseball. So now they have Sunday Night Baseball. Yeah. And then better than ESPN, yeah, even though Bob Costas will be hosting the pregame show for Sunday Night Baseball on NBC. Thought we escaped him.
Was that he called that double play last year? Was that the one?
Oh yeah, it's not Giancarlo's fault. And then he proceeded to have one of the best Yankee postseasons I think I've ever seen in my life.
We were just talking about this.
It is not his fault. It is never his fault. He just can't run. Like he was like talking to him like he was a child.
Elite ball knowledge right there.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I have many Bob Costas stories that I will not tell over the air. Yeah, so Seahawks. I think it's going to be the Seahawks.
Give me the Seahawks. Fingers crossed.
I just know it. They covered the 3.5. I did put down a future on them to win the Super Bowl. Divisional weekend. I did it right before the 49-6 route. Took them.
Oh, so you took an early flyer.
I took an early flyer. Yeah, I did it like a bitch, but
hey,
because if you start with the I'm a firm believer in once the playoffs start, you can't pick anyone. But I was like, you know what, screw it.
Take a flyer. Who cares?
Who cares?
Talking about when it starts, bet on someone. Took Scotty to win the Amex. Nice.
Is that today?
It was yesterday. He won.
Oh, he won yesterday? I didn't even know. I know that Travelers is this week, correct?
I think so.
Something's this week.
I know there's something this week. No, not the Travel. Let me see. Golf tournament this week.
Yeah, not the Players. It's too early for the Players.
No, the American Express just happened. What's going on next weekend?
PGA Tour schedule. Farmers Insurance.
Yes. Okay. I couldn't fucking think of it. There we go.
Farmers Insurance. It was pretty satisfying to see a Masters commercial during football while we were snowed in and just like, better days are ahead. Yeah. Better days are ahead. Cannot
Blaze
wait
Brown,
for
hell of a tournament in the Amex, by the way. Kid's like 18, shot 20-something under.
We never touched up on Brooks.
It's actually his first tournament back next weekend.
His first tournament back.
If you're a betting man, you are betting on Brooks to finish top 10 or to win. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that's the bet.
That's the big bet right there.
You gotta lock it in. Brooks to win, Brooks to finish top 10.
Shit. I didn't even realize this. Yeah, so Farmers this week, and then the Waste Management is next week during Super Bowl week, which is like crazy. Just crazy to think about because does CBS have it because NBC has the Super Bowl? I forget
CBS
how it
probably
always.
has it.
I forget how it always works.
What a
because,
weekend for sports, then.
Yeah,
Holy.
Jesus. Duke UNC, Waste Management, Super Bowl. Like, come on.
This is crazy. All right.
In that order.
Yeah.
In that order of importance.
If we get the Waste Management before the Super Bowl, during the Super Bowl, potentially.
Great.
Yes, CBS has got it from 3 to 6 on Saturday and 3 to 6 on Sunday. The Golf Channel, I guess. ESPN will have some coverage.
Beautiful.
Nice.
I would assume
we got some golf to watch. Wow, that's a big tournament.
Coverage of that. Cannot wait. We got some golf, man. Let's go.
I wonder if it's cheaper this year because the Super Bowl's going on. Maybe no one's heading down to Arizona for this.
People are going to that. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
You know, there's some like fuck the NFL people going.
Beer sales last year, Stan.
Forgot about that. Yeah, that was.
It was raining. People were sliding down hills. They were throwing stuff. It was a mess.
You know what? Let me see. Let's look way ahead. Masters odds. Just for the heck of it. Scotty, Rory. All right, it's the usual suspects. Scotty, Rory, Ludwig at plus 1,400. Shambo at plus 1,400. Rahm, Shoffley, Fleetwood, Morikawa, Thomas, Hovland, Matsuyama. All right. I've seen Ludwig. There's value there.
I'm not against it. The robot.
I'm not against it either. I may, honestly, do you know what I think? And this is crazy to say, but I'll say it anyway. I think this is the year that there's going to be like a Danny Willett type winner.
Like an off. Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Like just like an off winner.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Brooks.
Not Brooks, no, but I'm saying, like, where the fuck did this guy come from?
No,
like,
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Brooks Koepka's not like, where did this guy come from guy.
I mean, at this point, you'd be like, how the fuck did he win? He was this close to getting kicked off a live. I mean, like, he quit because he was so ass, and now he's back on the tour.
Yeah. Well, he wasn't. I think he made, and watching the Full Swing documentary, it made me realize that he took the money because he didn't know if he was going to be the same. And then he won the PGA Chip, and then he won the PGA Championship. And then he was back in his top form, and now he kind of like fell off the track.
Took some money and ran. Who cares? He's loaded. Just go win some golf tournaments. Let's go. It's all about winning now.
Now he's back with the PGA. All right. Enough football, enough golf. As much as I love talking about golf, it's time. The official college basketball preview of 2026. What a year it has been so far. I think if you are trying to get into college basketball right now, this year is the year, especially with 3 absolute studs lining up at the top 3 with Cam Boozer of Duke, Darren Peterson of Kansas, and AJ DeBonsa of BYU. Tim, you got some questions, as we do every year. It's the off week, so it's the off week, so no football to talk about, no nothing. Just this is it, and what a big week it is. I mentioned before, Duke plays Louisville tonight. By the time this episode is out, the results will already be had, and then Arizona BYU tonight as well. A lot of shocking teams. We still have 3 undefeated teams left. I won't share who those undefeated teams are. You can Google that yourself, because I think that they will be brought up at a later time, i.e. in about 10 minutes. So, Tim, you prepared well. What do you got?
Start it off. This is for all the backseat fans like myself who haven't really kept tabs on college basketball because all the other sports going on right around now. This is the time to get a catch-up refresher. I'm going to start it off, Stan. A big hitter question, the obvious one everyone wants to know. Let's talk about Duke and the other big dogs. Who are the real dominant teams going into this tournament?
So let's start with Duke, because Tim, you saw them with me against Texas Tech at the Garden, and that still is our only loss of the year. Duke is it seems like they're hitting their stride. They're at like a very like easy stretch of their schedule after this Louisville game. They play at Virginia Tech on Saturday. And then UNC the Saturday after. Who else? Virginia Tech, Boston College, UNC. Then after the UNC game, they have Pitt, Clemson, Syracuse. And then the last 5 games are sort of a gauntlet. Michigan in Washington, D.C. That's another one of those teams that are a gauntlet right now. at Notre Dame. Virginia looks pretty good at NC State, where they've always struggled, and then UNC to end the year in Cameron. Cam Boozer is as advertised.
We saw
He's
him.
ridiculous.
We saw him live.
We saw him.
He needs to hit more free throws, but other than that,
yeah, that was a bad free throw shoot. I think we finally got over the free throw issue.
That was a bad night for both teams. I think the combined percentage was like 52%. No one was hitting anything. So
that was bad. And now we can talk about Texas Tech. I don't think that they're one of the juggernauts, but they've gotten some pretty big wins as well. They beat Houston on Saturday. They beat BYU the Saturday before. So, that loss for Duke is looking better and better just because it
keep winning, obviously.
Texas Tech's a pretty damn good team. Some other teams, I mentioned them before, Arizona. Arizona, and I've given Tommy Lloyd a lot of shit over the years just because he's brought his team to 1 seeds and second weekends, but hasn't really brought into an Elite Eight. Remember, they lost to, who was it, Clemson? Yes, it was Clemson a couple years ago. This is the team. This is the team for Tommy Lloyd this year. Akoa Pete, stud 5-star freshman. He's been doing fantastic. Braden Burries, another point guard. Arizona is one of the 3 undefeated teams in college basketball right now. Antel Orso is back. He's a lethal 3-point shooter. As I mentioned before, they do have a big one against BYU tonight in Provo. But yeah, Arizona seems to be the team to beat. They have a lot of mix of experienced transfers and a lot of stud young guys. I mentioned Pete and Burries on the experience side. Jaden Bradley, who was on the team last year, he's having a very efficient year. Tobe Awaka transferred in from Tennessee. He had 14 rebounds in a game against West Virginia on Saturday. Matijus Krivas. Yeah, Lithuanian guys. Tommy Lloyd loves his European. Tommy Lloyd loves his European big men. Balo, or international big men, let's say. Umar Balo. Henry Vasar, he's on UNC now. Krivas looks pretty good. He had a double-double against West Virginia on Saturday as well. Yeah, Michigan, mentioned before. Mentioned them before. They played Duke on the 21st. Michigan right now, and I think with these types of games, it's like they're just bored because they lost to Wisconsin. They lost to Wisconsin at home. They had a worry in the beginning of the year. They had remember back in November, they had a close game against Wake Forest on a neutral. Who else did they struggle with against? I'm blanking on who they had. TCU. TCU is sort of like a solid middle of the pack Big 12 team. That was a game that they should have dominated. And then the Players era happened where I believe they beat everyone. They beat San Diego State, Auburn, and Gonzaga by a combined 94 minus, I can't do simple mental math, 102 minus 72, 30, and then 101 minus 61, 40 plus 30 plus 40. They beat, their point margin was plus 110. They beat San Diego State by 40, they beat Auburn by 30, and they beat Gonzaga by 40, 101 to 61. So that was sort of the Michigan is here moment for them. Yeah, Lendenborg probably going to transfer from UAB. He's probably up there for Wooden consideration if any of the freshmen fall off, because I think right now it's going to be Cam Boozer. Ade Mara, he's going to be a top pick in the draft. Look out for him. He transferred in from UCLA. There's one thing about Dusty May. Tim, if you remember that FAU run to the Final Four, they love those big men with Vlad Golden. So now you have a lethal double big man spot. UNC transfer, Elliot Cadeau. He's having a pretty good year. He was the leading scorer in their game against Indiana a couple days ago. Namari Burnett, if you remember, if you watched those overtime videos as a kid, Namari Burnett still in college somehow.
He's still kicking.
Still kicking there somehow.
I'll with Jalen Hands.
Yeah, Michigan's got a pretty damn good team. It's just a matter of it's hard to describe because they just get bored and lose to a team that's much weaker than them, and then they play a really good team and they fucking beat them by 30. So they actually do have. Yes, that's the phrase. They have a big one. They have a big couple of games this week. Nebraska tomorrow. That's going to be big. And then Michigan State on Friday at the Breslin Center. Next up on the list, I literally had my Google Doc up and I lost it. Let's go all. Now I got to refresh on the Google Doc. My session timed out. Great job, Stan. Purdue. If you've listened to the show when Duke would, or when the season started, I said Purdue. I was a little bit worried about them because they're playing two big men at once, and Matt Painter never really did that. If you remember a couple years ago, he did that with Edey and Travion Williams. He had Edey come off the bench, Travion Williams starting, and then that's what kind of led to. And I know that they were a 1 seed going into the tournament, but they lose to, or not a 1 seed, but anyway, they lost to a 15 seed in the Sweet 16. And that didn't really work out. I think with this team, and now Braden Smith is putting on an incredible year, up there for Wooden consideration. I just think if you combine Oscar Clough and Trey Kaufman-Renn, Braden Smith thrives on the pick and roll. Trey Kaufman-Renn's not really that much of a threat on the outside. So when you try to do the pick and roll and Braden Smith's trying to drive, the paint's all clogged up. There's no spacing. And I don't know. They lost to Illinois on Saturday at home. They've had two of their losses were bad. They were bad home losses against good teams. Lost to Iowa State by like 25 in Mackey, and then lost to Illinois. Shot this kid Keaton Wagler. As I mentioned before, this freshman class is ridiculous. Tim, Keaton Wagler of Illinois, one of the freshmen, he had 46 points.
Jesus.
That is the most a freshman has ever had against an AP top 10 team. 46 points. As a team, I believe Illinois shot 18 to 38 from 3. That is 47%. Illinois just could not miss. They shot almost 50% of the field. And that's what kind of worries me about Purdue, because if they get a team on their best night, especially come tournament time, if they play like a pretty good team, let's say they run into a Texas Tech, kind of worried about it because Texas Tech can shoot. They can shoot the ball very well. We saw that at the Garden. UConn, another one. I do want to say UConn's still doing their thing. I know they had a little scary game. I know you don't like Danny Hurley. UConn had a bit of a scary one against Villanova. They won in overtime at home. Band still doing his thing there. They have Georgia transfer Silas Demery Jr., Braylon Mullins, good young ball player, 4-star freshman. He can shoot it. Terrace Reed is the main source of offense. I believe he's a 6'11" center. He was on the team last year, came off the bench. Sort of the common theme of the Donovan Clingan blueprint, where come off the bench 1 year and then become a stud the next year. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Solo Ball's still there. He had 24 against Villanova the other day. Against Villanova on Saturday. Yeah, so those are kind of like the big hitters. There's a lot of big hitters, but I think those are the main ones that I think that are going to be a threat. So, Tim, what do you got? I mentioned one team.
Yeah, well, my next question kind of leading up to that. Well, the heavy hitters everyone wants to know about, but who in your mind are the biggest frauds going into March?
Purdue is one of them.
Well, I mean,
Purdue's one of them.
I've heard Purdue, but give me the other teams you think that are going to get knocked off by like 14 seed.
This is a tough call because it may just be another year for chalk. I think Gonzaga, and this is
really.
And I know that they're injured. They're dealing with a lot of stuff. I think Braden Smith is hurt, if I'm not mistaken. I know Graham Ike missed a game against San Francisco the other day. I was big on them going into this season, and I just think that this team's just too volatile. And I haven't really watched much Gonzaga basketball. Or not Braden Smith. Who's the center? Jesus, who is the center that... Braden Huff. He's hurt. He's out for an extended period of time. Graham Ike missed... He's considered day-to-day, but he missed the game. I just don't see it with Gonzaga this year. Like every year, I just don't see it with Gonzaga. Do I think they'll be a high seed? Yes. I just don't...
You hate Gonzaga, man.
I don't hate Gonzaga. I just don't see it with them. I look at opponent adjust. Here's another team that I think is going to be a major, major fraud. And I think it's Louisville. And Duke's playing tonight. And now I know Louisville they've been missing their stud 5-star freshman, Michael Brown Jr. He's back tonight against Duke. It seems like every time Louisville takes a step up, they get humbled. It happened against Duke. It happened against Virginia, where Louisville jumped out to a big lead against Duke in early January, and then that faltered off. And then now the Virginia game, Virginia dominated that whole game. So, I mean, hey, Louisville's got some good guys. I just think that Pat Kelsey's very prone to being
clearly.
Pat Kelsey is prone to being shoved in a locker when he does not have the coaching advantage. Like Shire shoved him in a locker. Ryan Odom's a great coach, shoved him in a locker. They have great players. They have great shooting. McNeely from he was the Isaac McNeely, the Virginia transfer, great 3-point shooter. Ryan Conwell from Xavier. They got some great players. Like, I'm not knocking on Louisville. Would I be shocked if they go on a run? No. But I just think right now, like, I just don't see it. Every time that they've played a step up in their competition, they've lost. And I know that could be because of injuries.
But that's never a good sign.
The Kentucky win looked good for them in the beginning of the year, if you remember the ladder at Louisville Moneyline. But look how Kentucky's been ever since. They've been god-awful. So it's a weird case with Louisville. So right now, I think prone to upsets right now, I would say, would be Louisville and Gonzaga.
Those are the two.
I'm going to roll with that. Louisville and Gonzaga.
All right.
Yes.
All right. You heard it here first. Two teams to upset your picks.
Yes.
You fuck up if you get them moving on.
Yes.
All right. Aside from the biggest frauds, I mean, the three-headed monster I really want to talk about. The three top guys at the draft. Obviously, you want to talk about it. They're one of your guys. But Boozer, DeBanza, and Peterson. It's really, at this point, it's 1A, 1B, 1C. I know DeBanza probably maybe has a step up above the rest of the two. But what do you think going into this tournament? Who's going to shine the most? And honestly, like, whose draft stock you can see, rising above the other three, or the other two, rather?
Now, I'd be lying if I said Cam Boozer. I'd be lying if I said that Cam Boozer shouldn't be the number one pick. He is clear. Now, here's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to go DeBanza, Peterson, Boozer. Now, the whole injury issue with Darren Peterson is big because the beginning of the year for Kansas was a disaster. It was a complete disaster because Peterson got hurt with a hamstring issue, and he would be on a minutes restriction, and then he would hurt his hamstring again, and he would sit out crucial minutes, and it was a disaster. Everything was going fine until last Saturday, where he's out with an ankle injury all of a sudden against Kansas State. Kansas ended up dominating Kansas State anyway, so it didn't really end up mattering. Next Saturday is the big one. That is going to be a big game. It's BYU, Kansas at the Fog, DeBanza, Peterson. Can't wait.
That's the big test?
That's the big test. That is the big test of who could be the number one pick. Because I think right now, I think Boozer's 3 no matter what, unfortunately. But I think it comes honestly, I think right now it just goes DeBanza, Peterson, Boozer, and I cannot wait to watch it. It's going to be great hoops. I think it's this Saturday, correct? Yes, this Saturday. Kansas, BYU. Cannot wait. Looking forward to it.
Do you think that's going to... Now, if one of them balls out over the other, do you really think that raises the stock that much more than, any other sort of...
Yes, but no, because I think that...
I think you got to take it with a grain of salt.
That, and I think March matters for stock.
I think it does too.
If you remember when UConn won the back-to-back national championship, you remember Donovan Clingan's draft stock just went whoop, like
all the way
some mocks, and like everyone, yeah. And I know, aside from the European players, like a lot of people had Donovan Clingan as the best college player coming out of that draft, and they're probably right on that, I would assume, unless I'm wrong, because I think a lot of guys. I mean, Jared McCain's in the freaking G League.
It's too early to tell. Let's just be frank about it.
It is too early to tell, but let's Brandon Miller maybe, or not 2023, dumbass, 2024. This is a mock. I need the real one. Reese Ashe, Sar, like Reed Shepard was the first college player taken.
Okay.
Stefan Castle. Like Ron Holland, yeah, but he's a role player. Edie, Dillingham hasn't done anything. Clingan went 7. McCain's in the G League. Connect sucks. Eves Misi's a big maybe. Like there's just a lot of.
It's too early to tell.
I know it's too early to tell, but it's not looking good for that draft class right now. March definitely does matter, and if Kansas kind of falters through, let me check the resumes on evanmia.com. Shout out to Evan Miyakawa, by the way. He has probably the best advanced analytics website in college sports. I'm not even kidding. So he has Kansas slated as a 3 to 5 seed. Same with BYU. So BYU, they have wins over. Their best win is probably Clemson at the Garden, where they were down by 27 at one point, and then they won. They beat Miami. They beat Villanova. Beat Wisconsin. Their big loss, their 2 losses were to Texas Tech and UConn. Those were probably their 2 biggest games of the year. Kansas. At NC State, look how that turned out. The win against Iowa State was big. They won by like 30 at home. They beat Tennessee on a neutral. And then their losses, the loss to West Virginia mattered a lot. They lost to UCF, lost to UConn, UNC, and Duke at the Garden. So, and that Duke loss was without Darren Peterson. So I think, and that 3 to 5 line is always, it gets hairy, especially the 5s. So if they somehow make it to a 5, if Kansas kind of if any of these teams falter through, because we saw what happened to that first UConn team in 23, where they had an awful January, they had an awful month, and they were playing like a 1 seed, but they were a 5 seed. So if they have a bad month, who knows? Maybe they could be prone to the upset. But I see BYU there. I see BYU there. I see it. Kansas maybe not, but I wouldn't be shocked. But I see BYU making that second weekend.
Real quick, a team you mentioned earlier that we really touched too much on, Nebraska. You're a big Nebraska guy. I know you're a big Nebraska guy.
Dude, this team, Evan Mia has them as a 1 or a 2 seed right now. In terms of resume quality, they have the second best resume out of anybody in the country. They're one of the 3 undefeated teams in the sport. This team and when I started with them, when I started the season watching Nebraska, betting Nebraska games, I was just like, no way this fuckery lasts. Like, they go into Champaign against Illinois, bet on Illinois.
It's like the LeBron tweet.
They fucking kicked. No, it literally is that LeBron tweet. I was like, no way this fuckery is going to last. They beat Illinois in Champaign. Great. The next big one, Michigan State, Nebraska in Lincoln. They beat Michigan State. It was a back and forth game. Oh, no, you weren't there. Watched that game with a couple people. So it was like, holy shit, like Nebraska basketball. Like people are fucking watching Nebraska basketball.
Cornhuskers.
They're a top 5 AP team right now, which is crazy to even think about. Rank Moss and Price Sanford. Rank Moss was with the program for a while. Price Sanford came in from Iowa when Fran McCaffrey left. And you remember those Fran McCaffrey teams. They love to score. And Price Sanford is doing that. He is scoring. And Fred Hoiberg. Remember Fred Hoiberg, Tim? He's coach the Bulls.
Yeah,
that's a throwback name. Fuck, he's doing his thing over there. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing with Nebraska. They play Michigan tomorrow. Michigan's favored by 11.5, and I think Michigan's very capable of covering that number. Do I take that as a knock against Nebraska? No.
Is that more of just how good Michigan is?
That's just more of how good Michigan is and how their styles kind of clash. So, Michigan thrives on athleticism, size. I just think the size joke, LOL. I said this when Duke lost to Houston before the game, but size does matter. And then your 7'2" center gets 0 rebounds. But anyway,
it was an interesting game. There was things going on outside the arena.
I don't care. That still haunts me to this day. Yeah, but Nebraska, they have some impressive wins. I mentioned Illinois, Michigan State. Even on Saturday, when I was recording, I locked in Nebraska. Minnesota was up 4 at half. Nebraska wins by like 25. So now Minnesota's not Michigan, but still going into a ruckus environment on the road, and you're still beating them by 25. They did the same thing against Indiana the other week. I was just like, no way this fuckery lasts. But here we are talking about Nebraska.
Still talking about it.
20-0 Nebraska Cornhuskers going into probably the biggest game in program history. We are going at Ann Arbor against Michigan. It's going to be a fun one tomorrow. I can't wait to watch it.
Shout out Nebraska hoops. Shout out
Yeah,
Nebraska.
Nebraska hoops. They're fucking hooping, man. They're legit.
All right. For the sake of time, I have 3 more questions. You could rapid fire
Okay.
2 of them, and then I would focus on the one you think is most important. So we'll start with, I'll
Gotcha.
just run down the 3 here. So we'll go G League players playing,
Oh God.
the upset
So-
teams, the possible upset teams you could see in March, not the frauds, but the other side, the 14 seeds that can make a run,
Yes.
and the
Yes,
coaches
yes,
on the
yes.
hot seat.
Okay.
I'm
So
finished with the one you want to talk about the most. That's what I want. That's how I
want to talk about. I want to talk about the G League guys first.
Okay, so we'll start. Why don't we
Not
start
first,
with?
last?
Yeah,
I
so
know.
let's
I wanna-
start.
yeah.
Let's start with the coaches in the hot seat. That's probably the one we can rip up the quickest. So who do you think right now are the coaches on the hot seat in college basketball?
If we did this last week, it would be Hubert Davis.
Okay.
And I feel like he always we always get to this point
Stick around.
where UNC has a bad January and a bad February. And we talk about Hubert Davis, and then they somehow, some way, find a way into
like Ryan
the tournament.
Day.
It's like Ryan Day. UNC had a bad West Coast trip. There's no denying that. They lost at Stanford, at Cal, and it also doesn't help that Duke was on the same West Coast trip as them, and they swept Cal and Stanford out of the water. Like, it wasn't even a game. They also lost at SMU, and they lost to Michigan State back on Thanksgiving. Their wins. The Virginia win was a good win on Saturday. That's their best win of the season so far. Kentucky doesn't really look that good now. Ohio State, analytically speaking, Ohio State is, I think Ohio State's just in. But, again, Ohio State, a lot of these wins are very I will say, before the Virginia game, their most impressive win was in the beginning of the year where they beat Kansas at the Dean Dome with Darren Peterson. A win that's something that Duke doesn't have. Duke has a win against Kansas. They just don't have it against Darren Peterson.
Yeah.
So, and now obviously, the roster is very lucrative. I will say it's a lucrative roster. They hired a GM. There's a lot of money going into that roster. And when the job does become, let's say the job does become available, it's going to be a very lucrative job. And, I look at guys at high major schools that maybe don't have, or not necessarily, or that maybe, I'm like losing my mind. I'm looking for guys at high major schools, top ranked teams
that could be looking to jump. Yeah.
That could be looking to jump. One that definitely comes to mind, Nate Oates at Alabama. Never know.
Their basketball
TJ Otzelberger at Iowa State. Tommy Lloyd of Arizona. Todd Golden of Florida even. Hell, I'll say that. Grant McCaslin, Texas Tech. Like, the wish list it's a long wish list. I would assume if all of them say no, I think you go with Mark Byington of Vanderbilt. Just because Vanderbilt's having a good year for Vanderbilt basketball standards. I know they were on I know they're on a little bit of a losing streak, but they kind of had a get right against Mississippi State. They won by like 25. So UNC's hot seat right now. College basketball is just such a weird sport where, like, you have coaches on the hot seat, but then you have, like, the mid-major coaches that are, like, on the hot seat only because, like, hey, if you guys win more, we'll get you a job.
Yeah.
But, like, if they lose, then you stay, but, like, the fans are happy that you stay, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Loyalty if that makes sense. Yeah. Jared Calhoun at Utah State is one of those guys. He's 41-10 at a year and a half with the Aggies, and it's just like the perfect balance of older players with a sprinkle of highly productive transfers. I think Utah State knows that they have guys that the coaches that they hire are very lucrative. Craig Smith, I forget where he is now. I got to look him up. Craig Smith, basketball coach. Craig Smith is at Utah right now. He was at Utah State. Ryan Odom, he is at Virginia now. He jumped from VCU to Virginia. Danny Sprinkle, he spent one season at Utah State, went 28-7 with them. He's at Washington, and now Jared Calhoun, who's 26, last year he was 26-8 at Utah State, and this year the Aggies are doing they're doing their thing. So look out for him to be a high major acquisition. Other guy on the hot seat right now, Bobby Hurley at Arizona State. Dude, it's not.
Fuck that family.
The quotes. Wow. I mean, I like Bobby because Duke guy.
Don't care.
Wow. Just the quotes of his press conference were very telling. Like talking about they lost to West Virginia at home.
Just feels like he's got one foot out the door.
He straight up said, "We have not played well at home in years before COVID." This is the quote. "We have not played well here in years, like since before COVID. We had this place cooking before COVID. Now it's a sterile environment. We don't win here. The light in the tunnel, it's hard to see a lot of light." So
he's out the door.
Yeah, he's out the door. Tim, Oregon is a monitoring job right now. Oregon's sort of looking bad, even though you had Nate Biddle and Jackson Shellsack coming back. Dana Altman, he's not on the hot seat, and he's just consistently denying any retirement rumors.
But it's not looking good.
The season has just gone so bad that you just have to pay attention to what's going on over there.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't shock you. Other than that, I feel like last year was sort of like the big carousel, and the year before that, especially with Cal going
Can't have 4 years of coaching carousels.
Yeah. Especially our Providence as well. Providence played Georgetown, and you know how that's a big rivalry over there. Providence was up 21 against their former coach Ed Cooley in Georgetown, and then they just shit the bed against a poor offensive Georgetown team. The tenure for Kim English is likely on the verge of a third straight season without an NCAA tournament berth, and they're looking at the athletic director. There's a lot of things. The fourth season may hinge on the buyout, which could be like an $8 to $10 million buyout, which, and when Providence is good, that place is rocking.
Yeah.
And there were some, they had, with the snowstorm across the country, there were some parties outside the houses at Providence, and a lot of people outside saying, "Fuck Kim English, fire Kim English."
So it's not looking good. Not
looking good if you're a Friar. But yeah, other than that, nothing really too electric of this carousel. So upset teams. Yes, I forgot another school, but Syracuse. But it's Syracuse. Sorry, Syracuse. I'll say this: Syracuse is one of those. Sorry, I know we're like short on time here. Syracuse is one of those teams where the sport is better when they're good.
But they're usually not that good.
That's a cliche saying, but that's a very cliche saying.
It's just the truth.
It's true. Just Autry has just not looked good. They lost 3 straight games. They lost to Miami. They've eliminated any chance at an at-large bid. And, Jim Boeheim handpicked Red Autry to be the successor, and he has just not
shit the bed.
Lived up to the program standards, and the fans are making their voices heard. Are they willing to go outside the family for the next hire? Are they willing? Do they go to my guy, Jerry? Do they go to my guy, Jerry McNamara at Siena?
But he hasn't. I was like, what the hell?
No, not him. Sorry. But, it's the MAC to the ACC is a big jump, especially in this landscape of college basketball. So we'll see about that. Maybe they go outside the family. Maybe they stay in the family as well. Okay.
All right.
Teams.
List them right now. Give me the top 5.
Miami of Ohio. Right now, Miami of Ohio, they are one of the 3 undefeated teams of the sport. So yes, right now, one of the 3 undefeated teams in college basketball right now: Arizona, Nebraska, Miami of Ohio.
Okay.
And they've had some scary games where they are a fantastic offensive team. I believe in terms of pace. Let's see. I would say right now Miami of Ohio is Miyakawa has them as a 6 to 8 seed. 6 to 8 seed. St. Louis out of the A10. Tim, if you remember Kareem Abdul-Jabbar?
I do.
From Indiana State? That's him, baby. That's him.
Really?
Same coach, same guys there. Robbie Avila is there. They are a high-powered offensive team. Evan Mia has them as, again, a 6 to 8 seed. So they got a big win against VCU a couple weeks ago. That was sort of a telling game to see who would really take control of the A10. But yeah, St. Mary's, Utah State. I would say that they're just in the field, but if they get in there, they'll be a team to look out for. I wouldn't say there's 5 upset teams. It's just that I don't know. I just think that the upset teams are at a higher standard.
Okay.
They're just at a higher standard with Miami and St.
You have
Louis.
the big ones. So give me one off the board that you could see as sneaking in as a 14 and maybe wreaking some havoc.
Let's go mid-majors only. New Mexico, maybe.
Okay.
It's just, I think with this like resume quality thing, I don't think they take like at larges into consideration.
Okay, that's fair.
Yale's a big one too. They've been a mainstay in the tournament representing the Ivy League. There was some discourse in the beginning of the year where like, holy shit, like Yale could be an at large, and they kind of faltered off a bit. But I still see Yale winning the Ivies. Liberty again. I mean, they made it a couple years in a row. They're just out of the field, but if they're able to win Conference USA, look out for them.
Could Vermont possibly make a push?
Vermont always was like the team, like they were constantly in the America East. I think the team right now, and again, it might be UMBC, it might be Vermont. Just in terms of like resume quality,
Getting Lowell make a push. I mean, they're 3-3 in conference play, but they're 8. What are they?
Where's Lowell?
8-13, and they're down. They're terrible.
Yeah, they're highly in terms of win quality. Vermont leads that rank. I think they're like 30 spots ahead of the next best. The next best team in win quality in NJIT. I'll give the MAC some love, some action, not the one that you're thinking of, but I will give the MAC some love. Quinnipiac, they look pretty good.
Their hockey team's doing real good.
Their hockey team's doing very well as well. Siena having a pretty good year compared to years past.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are we comparing this really good year to?
Yeah, compared to year... I had to work every home game when they went 4-31.
Better than years past.
Better than years past. Defensive, they're a great defensive team. Offensively, they're.
All right, let's rip into it. Let's go G League. The G League players playing. Hang on. Oh, you got one more.
One more thing. Oh my God, what fucking conference are they in? Oh, the Big West. You know, Hawaii looks pretty good, but I don't think they have the quality wins that people are looking for. I would expect either UC San Diego or UC Davis to be in there representing the Big West. So remember, UC San Diego was a pretty popular upset pick last year when they played Michigan. And they actually got it pretty close. They almost pulled off a pretty great comeback. But yeah.
All right. They're the upset
G League players.
Yeah, let's hear it, Stan. This sounded like it was riling up your gears a little bit earlier. So let's talk into it. The G League players playing.
Because it's such a, how do I put this? It's such a let's just explain. So Baylor had a player, James Najee. He was drafted 34th in the NBA draft a couple years ago. And he never played in an NBA game. I believe he signed a G League like an Exhibit 10. But then he didn't really play that many games in the G League. He was just playing overseas, and then he went to Baylor. He comes off the bench for them. This is where it gets ridiculous. Charles Bediako played 2 seasons at Alabama. He was on that Brandon Miller Alabama team. He leaves school to try to make the NBA, signs professional contracts in the G League. Now, normally, once you go pro, you're done with college sports.
Can't go back.
There's not coming back. However, Charles Bediako and his lawyer have found some loopholes, and they sued the NCAA, arguing that the rules are unfair and inconsistent, and a judge temporarily blocked the NCAA from stopping him, which meant that he was allowed to play for Alabama immediately, even though he went pro. So it's not an NCAA issue, it's a court issue. And so he goes pro, didn't stick in the NCAA, sued the NCAA, and had a judge temporarily let him come back to Alabama, which could completely change who's allowed to play college basketball. In case you're wondering, Alabama did lose to Tennessee on Saturday. They were down a couple of guys, if I'm not mistaken. There's NBA basketball happening right now. Wow. Why are the Hornets up 50 on the Sixers?
Okay, didn't know that was going to happen.
Whoa. Brandon Miller has 30.
Anything to help the cause in the East?
Look who's out. Embiid, Paul George out. Maxi's in, though. Yeah, Brandon Miller is 30 in the third quarter.
That's crazy.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, this G League stuff is crazy.
Yeah. Alabama did lose to Tennessee with a G League player, so let's just keep that in mind. Bediako finished with... He came off the bench, he played 25 minutes, finished with 13 points, 3 rebounds. So...
Still lost.
I believe that I believe that the court date soon, which I would expect I would expect the restraining order is going to be expired, which would lead me to believe that the NCAA will block this. They need to fix
no
this because
way.
it's getting ridiculous.
There's no way.
It's getting ridiculous,
And
a lot of coaches
go back to Louisville if he gets like, are we doing really like what are we talking about?
A lot of coaches are like speaking up on this. John Shire was pretty vocal about it in his press conference after Duke's win over Wake, where he basically
Can Reddish go back?
No, he can't go back. Trevor Keels can go back. Who else can
No
go
one
back?
should be able to go back. That is just it's
you can't. And like the Najee thing, like with James Najee at Baylor, like Baylor fucking sucks this year. And he like comes off the bench and gets like 10 minutes and will get like 4 points and 3 rebounds. Like that's not like, that's not really much of an impact. Like Bediako has the capability of making like a pretty substantial impact. But a lot of coaches have been speaking up on it. Shire was pretty vocal about it in his press conference. He's like, I don't want to be a problem to this. I want to be a solution and like stop this. Izzo, a lot of the mainstay coaches, Shire, Izzo, Lee has been pretty vocal about it. So we'll see. Hope it stops, but oh my god, like it's just not.
Time will tell.
Time will tell. It has. God, it drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. Yeah, that is college basketball. So some games to look for this week. I do want to let go with this, and this will be sort of a mainstay up until the tournament. So I mentioned today, Monday, Duke, Louisville, Arizona, BYU. Tomorrow, Nebraska, Michigan is a big one. St. Louis plays. I mentioned them before. Purdue, Indiana. I will say Miami of Ohio is appointment television until proven otherwise. That is
first time that's ever been said.
That's since Big Ben.
Yeah, well, even then it was.
Wednesday, nothing much. Thursday, nothing much. Friday, Michigan State. Saturday's the big one. Kansas, BYU. Kentucky playing Arkansas. There's a Cal aspect to that. Gonzaga plays St. Mary's. Depends on who is available in that point of view and who isn't. Sunday, since there's no football, there's some pretty other good games as well. Alabama taking on Florida. Florida's been looking good, although they did lose to Auburn at home, and then Nebraska and Illinois. Should be a fun week of college hoops, and I cannot wait. Can't wait.
March is right around the corner.
Yes. Real quick, Carson Soucy, is it official yet, or still waiting on it?
We can hold off on that for now. Yeah, I don't even know what the deal's going to be. There's nothing through. Yeah.
Let's say what we do know. Carson Soucy is out for today's game for the New York Rangers due to roster management and against the Bruins. And according to the Bruins are favored by they're minus 125 in the money line. Like, what are we doing? Fade the Rage if you can. Fade the Rangers till you can.
Wait, hold on. Have you been hearing this buzz with Sabonis?
No, what's happening with Domantas Sabonis?
Kings and Raptors involving Sabonis trade potentially.
Whoa, is that?
It's just been buzz all day. I didn't realize.
Actually, speaking of trades, I know we weren't going to talk about the Knicks today, but did you see that rumor with that 3-team trade?
Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't really make much sense from Milwaukee, but whatever. You got to get rid of him at some point.
You get your picks back from Portland, though. That you gave up for Dame.
I guess, but losing Giannis sets them back further than a few picks. You know what I mean? Like, you need some sort of...
At least you get your draft picks, though.
I guess.
At least you get your draft picks.
All right, for the sake of time, let's just rip what I saw, because I got to get going in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. So, what I saw is the U.S. Olympic 19 men's hockey team documentary that will be out on Netflix on pretty soon. Friday the 30th. Mm-hmm. Cannot wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
Supposedly better than the movie, so.
Yes, everyone is saying that it is going to be better than Miracle, the movie.
Top to top.
And the trailer came out for it, and it looks pretty damn good. You actually have clear 1980s footage.
Haven't had
of what was going on
in a while
up at Lake Placid. Tim and I were saying though that this is sort of a distraction for USA hockey fans after the team.
Not picking Robo really starts to seem like a problem.
I'm sorry. The 4 top goal scorers in the NHL are fucking Connor McDavid, no order. Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Jason Robertson, and Cole Caulfield. Jason Robinson and Cole Caulfield are not representing the United States of America, but Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid are representing their country. We have guys like We had this fucking bum like JT Miller and Vincent Trocheck, who should be traded immediately.
Was Billy Guerin's doing his thing? I don't know.
It drives me nuts. And I made the FIBA World Cup joke and how it's basically the reason why they're on the roster is they want to build the momentum from the Four Nations.
What? We lost. We lost.
We lost in overtime, but we lost.
We lost.
I don't know. I think the Kachuk brothers need to put the team on their back if they, because it's not looking good. I wouldn't be shocked.
We'll see what happens. We got good goaltending. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's
and another one I
crossed.
saw. Another one for me. MLB The Show.
No cover.
They came out with a letter. Well, here's the thing. They said no new cover athlete, which leads me to believe that it is going to be a cover athlete of old, which I would assume, like, with the color. The letter says, to our MLB The Show community, first off, we at San Diego Studios want to thank you, whatever. We know that you're all just as excited as we are for the release of MLB The Show 26, so we want to let everyone know that this year we have decided we will not have a new cover athlete. So it would lead me to believe that it's probably going to be a mix of like Ohtani and Judge, or Ohtani. Complete wild card, Miguel Cabrera. Because the 26, the 26 is Tiger's orange.
Yeah.
And he was on the cover of
13.
Was it 13 or 14? I think
14.
14. Yeah, MLB The Show.
Puig was 15, or was he 15? Puig was 14.
Puig was 15. It was McCutcheon was 13. Miggy was 14.
Puig was 15.
15 was Puig. 16 was Griffey. 17 was Donaldson. Right? I mean, I could have this. I could have
16 was Donaldson. I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't matter.
Who cares? Yeah, so that's what I saw. Tim, what do you got?
What did I see? Wasn't 17 Aaron Judge? That off topic there? 16 was Donaldson. Okay. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter. What did I see this week? All this Thomas Frank buzz. If anyone's a Tottenham fan. Burnley cheering to get this guy fired. I mean, we got Man City coming up. Yeah, we got Man City coming up. How are we this good in Europe, outside of the Premier League, this good in the Champions League? We go beat Dortmund, and then we come back and and tie with Burnley, draw with Burnley, and a team that's 18th on the Prem table. They're looking at getting relegated while possibly winning the Champions League. I've never seen it. I don't even think it's ever happened. I don't think it ever will happen. It could happen this year, but it could happen this year. You got to figure it out.
It's a disaster.
They get Solanke back though. He looked good in Dortmund. I don't know. They're just. Whatever.
Dude, we're 8 points away from getting knocked out.
It's beyond me.
Imagine they cannot let.
If they get relegated and win the Champions League, you know what I mean? Like, that'd be fucking nuts.
Can you imagine? That'd be hilarious. That would fit them though.
That would be a Tottenham. Yeah, it was like last year when in the Europa and they were 15th on the Prem table on the brink of relegation. And this year they're right back to where they were and still doing great outside on different cups.
So Wednesday is the last day of group games.
I think so.
Yes. And everyone's playing at the same time. All right. That should be something. What are like the big ones though?
Let me see.
I don't think there's like really any like Dortmund and Milan. That should be a good one. Monaco, Juventus.
That'll be a good game.
Ajax and Olympiacos. All right. There's some good ones.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Who do we have?
There's some good. Frankfurt.
Okay, can we play? Yeah, all right, come on. Win the fucking game. Let's move up the teams.
That's a win. That should be a win. It should be a win.
It should be a win. But again, like, it's just, we beat Dortmund, we're going to lose. And then it's just this bullshit over and over and over and over again. Like, anyone else? Who's got any other hard games?
So top 8 get in, like, automatically.
Yeah, I believe so.
And then 9 to 24 is a playoff?
Yeah, I'm not like entirely.
How does that like?
Listen, we're 5th right now, so let's just stay in the top 8.
I know.
We're looking all right. We're looking okay. We're ahead of PSG. We're ahead of Newcastle. Chelsea.
Is that for? Don't like Champions League teams go into the Europa League? Isn't that how Tottenham got in?
Yeah, I believe that's how. Yeah, that is how we got in. Wait, let me see. We always look this up.
I know. Well. The other way was so simple.
Okay, yeah. Each team plays 8 different opponents, 4 home, 4 away. The top 8 directly enter the round of 16. Teams 9 to 24 play in a 2-leg knockoff playoff, and teams 25 to 36 are eliminated. Yeah, okay. So 25 to 36 doesn't.
But like, what do you mean?
To drop down to Europa? All right, how do you?
They're
I think
out.
It's just
They drop down to Europa.
No, 25 to 36 they're out. So let's see. How do you drop? I think it's 9 to 24 have a chance.
I think this one may.
in champions.
Enters a play. I see. Okay, so the top 8 qualify, and then 9 through 24th enter, like, if you're in the top 8 of those, if you're 9th through 24th and you're in the top 8 of those, like, playoff, you're the final 8 spots.
Yeah. And then you advance to the round of 16.
Dude.
16. I know. That's what I'm saying.
You're going to get a top 8 spot.
Yeah. I know. And then you can't drop to the Europa League anymore.
Good, because I hated that.
Yeah, I know.
I hated that. I hated that format. So yeah, unseeded, seeded teams. Wait, higher. So it's basically it's March Madness.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
That's basically what it is. It's like a play-in March Madness.
All we got to do is just stay where we're at in 5th after this game. We win this game, we're fine. There's literally we should have no problems. We get a few days off. Which they should, but we've seen this team do some crazy fuck shit. Yeah, I know. Mickey Van de Ven's got 7 goals from the back end, dude. Him and Romero have 12 from the back end. Can we find another way to skin this? Whatever the scheme is, it stinks. But we got a shot. That's all that matters. We got a shot.
All right. Just win on Wednesday. Win on Wednesday, we're in the top 8.
That's all that matters.
On Wednesday, we're good.
All that matters.
Absolutely. All right. That is going to wrap it up. Great episode. Great college basketball talk. My voice is tired. Should be a fun day at work tomorrow.
Hey, it's that time of year, Stan.
That time of year. All right. That's going to wrap it up. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. TikTok's on some weird stuff right now, by the way.
Geolocation? Thank God I don't have it.
No, but I posted the thing, and then it didn't upload, but it did. It was weird. TikTok's on some weird stuff right now. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok. Be sure to like this video on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube, leave a comment on our videos. Be sure to follow us and rate us on Spotify.
5 stars.
5 stars only. We will see you guys next week for the Super Bowl preview. We finally made it. Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl.
Sam Darnold,
Cannot wait. Sam Darnold, he's going to conquer the ghost.
It's about time. It's about time.
He's going to conquer the ghost.
Cue that Ghostbusters theme. Cue that Ghostbusters theme.
Yes. He will conquer the ghost, I promise. All right. Peace out, guys.